Good morning, art buddies. Boy, it is rainy and dreary here today. We've had some really nice days. Of course, they've been really warm, but basically very nice. But now we're getting some needed rain. And so, good morning, Gail. I'm not sure about my lighting. I've got some, I'm going to go with what I usually have been doing and see how it works. So, for those of you that can tell me, if things get not so great or you want me to try something else. I'm just pulling out a few stamps. It's been a couple of days where I just couldn't come up with an idea for today that I wanted to stick with. Lighting seems good. Thank you, Gail. And I was a naughty, naughty gal. I was up. Well, I fell asleep and then I woke up and it was around, I guess it was close to 1:30 in the morning, something like that. And good morning, Peggy. And I guess I checked my phone for something and I saw that Keisha was still on with the market. So then I perked right up and I went in and chatted with the gals and stayed at the market till about 4:30 this morning. Very naughty. Naughty on a day where I have to stream. So I overslept this morning. That's a little bit of a shockaroonie, right? So I thought I'd felt like doodling when I got up this morning. So I think there may be a nap in my future, but not right now. So I guess it's been several years ago. I had an idea about a doodle book. Now it just came to me, and I don't know if it came to me because I had seen it somewhere. This is not, I'm sure, my own unique idea. And then recently, some of the gals were talking about doodling and grid doodling, and I thought, oh, geez, I think that's what I do. Good morning, Kathy. So, unbeknownst to me, apparently I started to doodle um, in grid form without realizing that it was, actually a thing. I'm just pulling out some stamps because I wanted to give a little bit of a spin on my doodle book, especially for some of you that may not be comfortable with or don't like to draw or sketch, but you might like to doodle and you don't have the confidence to just jump in there and start drawing stuff. So I thought if I pulled out some stamps, we might see how that goes. So I have an idea. So I've mentioned my friend Holly quite a few times, and Holly and I had decided, well, I decided really, and then Holly said, oh, I want to do that. So I went to, I guess I went to a Five Below. Good morning, Melody. Okay, let me just say this while I'm thinking of it. If you have something that you need for me to say, see, or answer, or whatever, please put it in caps for me so it's easier for me to pick up. Now, today, I think I've got my computer set up where it's a good distance for me and I'm seeing the chat pretty well, but capital letters certainly helps with that because when you start streaming live you get into this live stream brain and you lose some of your brain cells. It's just the way it is, so that would help. So I had said to Holly, sitting down and doodling is difficult for me. I've said this before. um, I just don't come up with images in my head that I want to doodle, like a wave pattern or dots or striped lines or paisleys or it doesn't come to me. But even with like drawing, it's it's okay to have a reference. So I purchased a book a while ago, and of course, I can't find it. I looked this morning because it occurred to me, you've got that old book that it's like a pattern book and it had all different. So I thought maybe that would be fun to go through, but I couldn't find it. So I pulled out my Zen Doodle book, which is basically an origami book. It shows you how to do these different folds. Now, I do have a live that I did where I did this one, and I tried folding a couple other things, and I'm really quite challenged at understanding what they're telling you. But I pulled this out mostly because on some of the pages, it's got some doodling ideas. Now, of course, these are Zen doodle ideas and not just willy-nilly ideas of doodling, but I thought I'd have that handy in case I get stuck. Now, I do have my cell phone here, and somewhere in this mishmash of a art space here, I did start, or maybe it's in one of these guys here. I did start like, you know how we swatch colors? I did start a doodle swatch book, but I'm not remembering what book it's in. Aunt Michael's one time had these really nice journals. Well, that's Kathy Arbor stuff. And this I started swatching in here, changed my mind. Okay, so it's not that one. And this is my swatch book. Swatch book. That's my snow globe journal. This is just a sketchbook. I turned this into a sketchbook. You can see I got plenty of room in here. Yeah, I've got one somewhere where it's just little doodle ideas, and there's not a whole lot in it. I think I got pushed back way back in the corner, but that's okay. So what I had started to do, and then I showed Holly, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." Okay, so we have a store near us called Five Below. I guess they're across the country. I'm not sure. And everything in the place is $5 or below. So I found this blank sketch. It was a blank page sketchbook, okay? And it had tons of pages, and it was $5. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to grab that. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. But then I remembered I had it when Holly and I were talking. Now you can see the outside cover starting to wear off. I probably should take some alcohol, maybe try to get the rest of that off, because I really wouldn't have to cover it or do anything else to it. And then I put a little pocket in the front just because then I could keep my grids that I use while I'm working in this book in the front. I'm just, sharing this idea with you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do this. But hey, Dar, good morning. So then once I started to work in it, I was coming up with ideas to do on my doodle pages, and I didn't want to repeat them. So sometimes I get a little anal. So I made a list of things that I thought I might like to doodle. And then I started marking them off as I did them. And then I numbered the pages, and then I started to put what page they were on, just a little index for me. So if I wanted to flip through and see what I had done, I would be able to do it without frustrating moi. Okay. So I thought I would start by just starting to walk through this, and and then just go from there. I've got a little page tagged. I've got an idea of what I think I might want to work on today. So we'll just see. Let's see how it goes. So I'm just going to start going through. Now I should have dated them when I did them, but I didn't. And what I found in my stash when I started this was I had two of these hard plastic templates made by Fisker. I think I picked them up in a Goodwill bag. I don't remember. So I used that to make some of my squares. I just made them willy-nilly. I did not do anything really planned out. I just started making squares with a Sharpie pen. I didn't want any bleeding. I wasn't quite sure how that would go. Good morning, Shaz. And then my husband for years sold carpet and had to lay out furniture. So he had this, and I stole it. So, he could grid a furniture, layout, and one of them here kind of looks like oh, this looks like a piano, so he had this. So I stole that, and oh, here it is. And he had this little circular template. So these were the things that I had in my stash when I started out with this idea of doodling. And I had said to Holly, I can't just sit down and doodle a whole page. Now, Holly could. Holly would draw a tree, and she had a storyline, and she would put a cat in boots, and she would have spiders, and she would theme it. Holly was really an artist. But I wanted smaller spaces. So I said to her, I'm going to make little squares on my pages. And that's before I knew anything about or heard anything about grid type doodling or journaling. So this is my book. And then once I started, I went through and I added either some watercolor or some colored pencil, and I started to color in between the lines, and some pages are finished, some are not. And then as I came back through and looked at the different pages I was working on, I didn't like, because this paper was a thinner paper, I could see, and some of my inks and whatever I used started to bleed through. I didn't care for that. So if you decide to do something like this, you may have a heavier page and you wouldn't have to necessarily black out the back side. I might do something else with this at some point, but some of the pages you'll see I did paint black because I wanted to get rid of the minutia over here so I could enjoy what was on the right side. And I only drew on the right side because that just made more sense to me. And because I had so many pages that I could really do it. And some things I left, uncolored, I guess intentional, but this is going back a couple of years for sure. And then of course, sometimes I didn't number the pages correctly. It's just, I struggled with my clouds. I just couldn't, and I haven't gone back. To finish up some of these clouds. These are not left unfinished intentionally. They're just I ran out of ideas. This page I know I definitely looked up on. Now let me know if my camera needs to go up a little bit, because I didn't pull it down. Right. Well, that was my plan, Shaz, that I could just work in a little area. I could come back and with another idea. This one I know I looked up on my computer or my phone to get some different ideas of the sun and some wild things. I mean, I like this page okay. Some of the pages not so much. Then here again, I ran out and didn't go back to do the moon. This one was birds, trees. I guess this was vase. Oh, pots. Pots. Worms. I know I saw this image online. I just tried to mimic. Practice drawing, practice doodling. Yeah, and then you can go back and add things, like I don't know how well you can see. Let me sit my little templates here aside. Well, this one may not be such a great one. stuff like that. This is not my idea. I found a picture of this somewhere, but tea bag, and then go back, put the tea bag, the tag over here. I added a tea bag. Then I started to doodle, and on some of them, put little things, in the background, filled in portion. Sneakers, anything you see a lot of blank, I struggled with. Little pigs. You can see I didn't have too much trouble with the ice cream page. Just saying. Mushroom. There was one page I did. I think I put the lady's name on it. I saw some of her stuff and she kind of inspired me. But see, stuff like this. If I had a bigger space, then I just started to doodle. And a lot of this was inspired by Tamara Laporte, if you're familiar with her. But you could do squares and practice your printing, anything really. And this is certainly something easy where you can get a tin of your markers or your pens, whatever you decide to use. If you're sitting in front of the TV or listening to a book, Calico Kate likes to listen to books, and you could sit with your feet up and relax. Our weather, hopefully, is going to start cooling off a little bit, and we'll have some beautiful fall days. You take a book like this out. If you have a front porch, your porch journal. You could put a page like this in your porch journal. Come on, and then doodle and practice. Whatever interests you. I saw these little pot animals somewhere and mimicked those. Of course, we have to have an eyeball page. I think I need to do a new eyeball page because I'm doing eyeballs a little bit different. And now that I learned how to do a relatively easy mouth, I think I might have to do a mouth page. So you'll see. And sometimes I just felt like gridding. I didn't feel like doodling. So I went through and I would grid and then maybe color the backgrounds. Okay, Gail. Gail said she's going to try to push some of her cool weather our way. It's been very cool here for the past few days, and it's supposed to continue. Nice. All right, so these are kind of funky little houses. They were cute, basically straight lines. They were fun to do. Dinosaurs. See, and here's another one where I'm just gridding. Then I started to skip around where I was putting things. The fishing lures. Don't know what this was supposed to be. Flip-flop zone. See, this is what was happening. Kathy's having beautiful weather. See, you can see where it's bleeding through. But like I said, this is not, it says sketch on the front, but they're talking like for a pencil, something like that, where it's not, or an ink pen, I guess like a Bic or something where you're not. Now here I did all my drawings, but I haven't come back to do any of the coloring in if I decided to. This is an attempt at Zen doodling. Different butterflies. I've got hats. See, and then here were some of those shapes for my husband's little grid, little template thingy. See, and so there was one day I just really wanted to get a bunch of grids done. And then there's some other ones in the back here. More Zen type doodles. This one, I was thinking about working on this one today. And when I was flipping through the book before you arrived this morning, I was thinking, these look like kind of postage stamps to me. So I pulled out a stamp. And I pulled this one out because I liked how it had a little square in the center and then a circle. So I was thinking about doing that on this page. So we'll see. And let's see what else I have done. See, and then back here I started to do more of a blended watercolor look. Obviously, no grids on them yet. And then I started to fuss around with um, different type of gridding, where I've got circles that look like bubbles. And then I started to do some stenciling as part of the background there. I like that. And this was 2022 New Year's Eve doodle. This is very purple. Pumpkin-y. I like this one. So this one I coffee stained and then did some additional, put some green, and then did some stenciling in the backgrounds. And this one I had just started. And again, I know I've said to myself 100,000 times I should start dating those. And these back here are fairly recent, but I didn't date them. So before I go any further, I'm going to take my Sharpie pen and I threw one in here, one or two. Now I've pulled out a variety of things. I've got my Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. I've got Sharpie pens. I've got my Tombow markers right sitting next to me. I've got a lot of different pens, markers. I've got my Wink Stella. So I've got a variety of things that I can pull from and use. So right here, I'm going to put today's date, 9, 10, 23. And what I thought I would like to do is to mimic that stamp I pulled out. Now, as I was thinking about you girls coming in and arriving this morning, and I was thinking about some of you that may not, okay, so for me, I wanted to learn how to draw. I wanted to try to teach myself how to draw. I wanted to start becoming maybe a little more comfortable drawing at certain things. But that's my nature. So, but not everybody likes that, just like with coloring or building journals. We all have different things. Some of us like to make cards. Some of us like to work with fabric. Um, you know, it's the 11th. Oh, happy 11th. Yeah, it's the 10th here. So it may not be as Tim Holtz would say, may not be your jam. But maybe you would like to create a book like this. Of course, it doesn't have to be this huge, freaking gigantic thing that I started to mess with. You could go with a smaller version, and it doesn't have to be, don't be intimidated by anything that some of us live streamers do. You can adjust it and work it for you and for your life. See, this is very doable, but you could get one of these for goodness sakes. The pages don't have to be blank with no lines. Use a lined book. They've got those dotted grid books. Sometimes you can pick this stuff up pretty easy, pretty readily, and don't worry about it. You can paint on top of it and then grid over top of that, or just start gridding and then, do as you want. But if this isn't really your thing, but you think you might like to try it, for heaven's sakes, you could make a little journal if that would be it's always good to expand your skills. Yes, absolutely. And you don't have to show it to anybody like goofball me, right? You don't have to come online and have the world see it. You don't have to um, upload a picture to Instagram. But if you do, the rest of us, I can tell you, look at it and appreciate what you're doing. It may not be on the level of Dee Dee Willingham, but as you post more, we can encourage each other as we improve. And the other thing about this, which is something I can't get my sister Nancy to understand, when you do something like this, whether it's doodling or drawing or coloring, once you start doing it, you can see your progression. You can see where you had not so good of a day, or you're making some headway and you really like what you did. So don't beat up on yourself. So I did lime green. I put teal hearts in different places. No idea why. And then very small boxes down here at the bottom. So then I thought today what I would start doing is, oh, and so I was going to say the other thing is, if a drawing is not your jam, or you don't really feel like that's an area that you want to expand your skills, get out your stamps. I'm going to try somewhere on stamping and then going and coloring and, messing around with it. Peggy says, sometimes I find an item I made years ago and say, did I do that? An impression. Yup, absolutely. My sister Nancy throws her stuff out. Oh, I could just bean her. Now, I'm hoping one of these grids works because I really don't feel like, I don't feel like having to measure. And I'm wanting to do something simple, but I'm also wanting to do a postage stamp. So these are postage stamp-ish. So maybe I will just go initially. All right, so this is the other thing. The one thing you have to think about is if you're gridding and you want lines to intersect, you don't want lines to intersect. You have to kind of think about that a little bit. So what I might do is some of these are going to be crazy, but that's okay because it's just a doodle. And this gives me a way to practice. So I'm going to just start making some additional shapes and grids. Now I'm starting out with that circles, that square. So what I want to do is I don't want my, see now the way I did it is this corner of the square is in my circle, and I did it in pen. So I'm going to put my circle down next, and I'm going to do that because I don't want my circle, in this case, to come across the top of that box. Yes, that's why the grid thing is such a fun idea, because it's not intimidating. It's a small space to fill. And you can go online and look at different ideas of how you might want to fill it. A while back, and I've referenced this a couple of times, Aunt Beck was doing something, um, I guess similar. Now she's done some grid um, journaling stuff, but this was a couple years ago, and then Murray was doing it too, and they just had like a, I don't think it was a composition book, but it was a book similar to this, and they had drawn long lines on every page, as many as they could fit, and they would doodle the same image, almost like a ribbon kind of a print. So if they were doing teapots, they might have had a little lane of teapots that had maybe 15 or 20 teapots, the same teapot all in a row. Then the next line, they may have done like a little daisy flower, with a stem, and then that would be on the next line. And then they would fill their whole page up. And sometimes I guess they might have done, if they needed more practice, maybe they would have done two. And that book was really starting to look cool because they had all these pages of all these. Now, Aunt Beck may have had cards she was picking from. I don't remember any of that part. I just remember she would spend some time on her lives making these little doodles or images in her in her book, and I thought they were swell. I just thought they were swell. All right, so now this one I'm going to start with a grid. I mean a circle, a grid. So I'm just adding a circle, and I think I want to put something. Hmm. Just coming off of it like that. And we'll just do a couple of these and then see how it goes. Now these are a little larger. Let's get a big circle. Now these aren't going to be perfect because I'm just not paying attention that closely about, where my circle is ending up in the grid. Because at this point for me it doesn't really matter too much. Now I'm coming down to the bottom of this little you probably can't see this. Here, let's do this. On this little template I have, the circles are all in, different sizes. They start large and then it goes smaller, smaller, smaller to teeny, teeny, tiny, teeny, teeny, tiny. Like Tiny Tim, tiptoe through the tulips. So as I started, I don't know if I ever finished this thought. So when I think about, and stamps can have any design on them, right? When I think about folks that maybe don't want to get into drawing or any of that jazz, um, use your stamps. So I'm going to do a couple with some stamps. I didn't pull out a whole lot because if I'm perfectly honest, the thought didn't come to me till it was almost time to go live. So that's just got not three, just got the circles going at an angle down the center. Maybe I'll add, see, this is the beauty of this. You can add and do whatever you like. And you may not know what you like, and that's okay too. Just start drawing some shapes and then go with it. So I think I do have another grid somewhere that's got some. I have two of those Fiskars, but the other one I think just has old big squares in it. All right, so let me do just a couple more. See, I'm just, okay, so there's that one. All right. So what if I did like a traditional stamp, put that in there, and let's do another one like that. See, these have all, you can't see them. King size bed, queen has a line where he could draw double bed, twin, sidearm. See, he used this for his laying out furniture when he was selling carpet. I'm trying to eyeball this one. So I'm going to make another rectangle type shape. I went off there. And then I'm going to put a little circle inside of that down here. All right. So now I might decide to draw in some of these, but then again, I might also, I'm definitely going to use my stamps. So I'm going to use my Stays On Midnight Blue because it's just here. It's out and available. And because I think I might be using some water, I'm not sure. I'm going to use watercolor pencils. I don't know if I'm going to want to blend that out, so I'm going to play on the safe side. I'm going to use my stays on because it's not gonna bleed supposedly. If it dries totally, we'll see. We'll just see how that is. And then I pulled out a variety of some smaller stamps just very quickly. Now these are some word stamps, and some of them are too large to come across one of those little boxes, and I may not care that they hang out. But we'll see. Or I could just stamp, one of the words and just use that. And then a lot of these little clear stamps you're not going to be able to see too well. But I've got a little flower, some more words. I picked out a couple of little birds, just something smaller. This one's got a lot of, I'll show you that one in a minute. And then some actual postage stamps. I thought this little grid might work somewhere if I only use a portion of it. And if you're nervous and you think, oh my gosh, I just don't really want to mess up my book. Hey, that's cool. Do it in pencil and then come back over it with a pen if that's what you want to do, because you can erase. I've done that. I don't like to sketch in ink. That is terrifying for me. When you watch someone like Dee Dee Willingham sit down from scratch, looking at a sample or a template, I mean, a picture, and just sit down and sketch in ink. I can't do it. I can't do it. There's our Barbara, chicken papa. Hi, Lori and everyone. Just had shredded wheat for breakfast. Guess what? The paper bags which store the 2-unit shredded wheats are going to make awesome pockets. Well, I gotta tell you, shredded wheat, those 2 big biscuits are a blast from the past for me. I didn't even know you could still buy them. That was something my mom always kept on the shelf when we were growing up. I might have to be looking for some. You know how sometimes you remember something from when you were a kid and then you get hungry, you just get a little hunger for it. Okay, so I've got these, and then I used this the other day. I love that. I think I want to put that in a stamp. And then this was still out from the other day when I was doing stamping. And gosh, what was that? That was just Thursday. And hubby just called to see if I missed him while he's at the beach. And I said, I'll let him know. Peggy, you're probably just giggling. You're probably giggling. Just said her dad loves shredded wheat. Yeah, I think my grandmother ate it fairly regular. My grandma loved it. Okay, so I'm putting some of this stuff up. And then I pulled out, like I said, these little things that look like postage stamps that I thought I could just, you know, and some more little postage looking type stamps. And then this one might be cool because it's got all kinds of little really doodly looking type, um, like they're already doodled. Those stamps look like they're already doodled. Let me blur your mind. Well, I don't know why some days, you can get your camera to really focus very nicely and other days not so much. All right, so I've got these things here. Now, of course, when I think of a stamp, I think of that little, that little woodgy edge, that little, what do you call that? Like a little, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. All right, so let's put these little goodies off to the side. I didn't get a block out. Maybe I should do that, but we'll deal with that in a minute. I'm loving that right there. Looks like a little trellis kind of a thing. So, and I don't care about this being perfect. I don't. I truly do not. So I'm just going to come in with my Sharpie pen. I'm not using a marker because this paper is not super smooth in my book. It's kind of well, like your pencil sketch paper. It doesn't really have too much texture to it, but it I think it would definitely take a marker and bleed. So I'm just gonna start making little let's see, now I wanna do my corners because I will be crazy about that. And then I'm just gonna now if you're like me, you're gonna see maybe somebody do something like this, and you're gonna say, "Oh, it looks so cute. When I do it, it doesn't look cute." Yes, it does. You just have to maybe close your book and come back to it in a day and look at it. It's gonna look a lot cuter. Like, I always think Murray stuff looks so cute, which it does, but then I think, "Oh, my stuff doesn't." But then I come back and look at it and I think, like, when I went through those pages, um, the front part of this book, you know, they look a lot better when I come back and look at them. Now, it is hard to doodle and talk for me, so I might get a little quiet. You don't have to do a whole book either. You might have a journal where you just want to do a page. Barbara said, so I had some strawberries on hand. Therefore, I decided to do food art in the cereal bowl and copied the image from the shredded wheat box. Nice. We eat with our eyes, they say. Now, it looks like I made these hearts with a metallic marker, like a metallic gel pen. I was saying Kathy, I think last night, I had bought these gel pen marker things. They're called Sparkle Pops, and I bought them because I saw Jersey Laura using them, and they looked cool. Now, maybe I got different ones than her, but see, like, if one looks purple, I guess they're iridescent, maybe that's what it is, because when you move it, it looks one color, and then when the other so this might have been the purple one, but it actually looks green when you're laying it down. Alright, so in here, let me do a stamp. And I probably should get a little block out. Yeah, see, that's gonna look cuter. That's gonna look cute in there. So if you're real anal, use your stamps. All right, so I've got something that I keep on the back of this little block, and I don't want to take it off because I have got it all lined up and smushed on there, and I use that quite frequently. So I'm going to ink this up and do a tester. Okay, so I need to. Now this is going to be hard to do. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. Because see, I have this on the back and I don't want to take that off. I'm going to drop it down and then come on top with the, and hopefully give it a nice press. Okay, so that's okay. Okie dokie. Now let's do another one. Now I don't want my stem from this to come into these other boxes. I just don't. I just don't want to do it. So I am going to, now I don't mind it comes into the lime green part. I just don't want it to run into my other stamp, at least at this point. So I think I want to put one, and it can be off centered. I'm not sure that I am going to worry too much about it being centered because I want it to look unique and different. So this is a bit of a crapshoot because you can't see through these wooden blocks. So we've got that one. All right. Oh, you know what? I think I want to do maybe this guy, just in one of these empty ones. And hope I get this on nicely. It's probably crooked. I got a bit of a crooked eye. Yep, it's crooked. It's all right. It's just a doodle book. Now, when I first started doing this with you earlier today, I didn't have those shadowy lines. I don't know why they start coming up. Oh, that makes them darker. I don't know, guys. It was fine. Okay, so let's deal with these two. So because I want my corners to not be too wackadoodle, I'm just putting my little just like the top part of a triangle. I'm just like making little bumpy hills. Almost kind of like monster teeth. Now, if you're more anal than I am, you may want to figure out a way to do um, these pointy little what do they call the edge of a stamp? This shape. Is there a name for it? See, I'm just making a little now this one, I think with the pot, the little clay pot, I'm going to make them bigger. Just to give my page, somewhat of a different look. All right, I ran off the page with this guy with the pot. Postal edge? Yeah, I don't know. Perforations, I guess, says Gail. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, but I don't know. It's a bit curious to me, if I do say. All right, so let me just get out one of my 10 volts tins of colors. And I'm going to just start putting some color in here. So now maybe this will help with my louvered blind look on my, gosh, I just wish I could figure this crap out. This one is speckled egg. I'm going to do some speckled egg behind my, and you're not going to be able to see this right away, if at all, really. I'm going to do some speckled egg behind. Now, I could just use this as a color pencil and leave it at that, right? And it's going, scallop. That's a good word, Barbara. Yeah, that might be. That might be. All right, so then I'm going to take and add salvaged patina in this block. Now, if you're sitting and relaxing in front of the TV or listening to a book, you may just want to grab a couple of things and not like have a lot of jazz. You may not have the oh, you did jazz? Oh, great. The room or the space. This one is Villainous Potion. I don't know if I used this before. I'm going to fill in the back area of this. See, and this is just how I would work. Now, you may be someone who wants to sit down and do Enabled by Lori. You're welcome. Um, I think you'll be very pleased, Shaz. Really, I do. You may wanna work on one stamp and get it finished. That's cool. You know, you do you. What did Barbara say about scallops? I said scalloped because I'm hungry. I'm thinking scalloped potatoes or oh my gosh, I haven't had scallops in so long. I will never forget, there's a place in New Jersey, it's about an hour from where it was an hour from where we were in Pennsylvania. And, when I was working, my boss was personally involved with a town called Ocean Grove, and, we used to call him the mayor. We used to tease him and say he was the mayor of Ocean Grove. But he was well known down there. It's a small tent city, and we would go down and have work retreats. And at one point, our staff was greatly depleted, and it was just myself and, him and one other colleague. Um, we went down and, had some meetings and then went to dinner at this place called Klein's, Ollie Klein's. It was in January, and, I ordered broiled scallops, however you say it, and they were the most delicious scallops I've ever had in my life. I'll never forget them. They were just wonderful. What is Barbara saying? Yay, yay, Shaz. Enjoy and use them in the best of health with your exciting new gift from you to you, and congrats from all of us to you. That was sweet. Okay, so now maybe this one I'll do just like crazy. Let's put this is like a lime green twisted citron. Kind of goes with my um, grid here. Boy, that shadowing's getting worse, huh? I got no idea. No idea what I could put here to maybe help. Oh, no, it went away for a second, like when I put my hand there. Let's do every other. These are coloring on pretty nicely. I'm going to use this crazy blue here. Salty Ocean. Hey, Angie Brown. Angie Brown was up late too. Weren't you, Ange? All right, now I have a little stamp up here. Where'd that little, I just saw, I threw it up here to, oh, where'd it go? You know, don't discount stencils either, guys. We could do a stencil. What the heck did I do with that? Oh, there he went under my lamp. Now, these are just, you know, it's just a little Stampin' Up! With partial petals. But I think those partial petals might look cute as part of the stamp layout here. Let's just see if I can. It didn't go the way I wanted it to. I wanted it more like that. I'll show you in a minute. But it is what it is. So already, in my humble opinion, they're looking cute already. So now I'm going to get out. Close your eyes. Yes. Well, you already ordered them, so I guess it doesn't matter. Let's see. Let's grab something that's gonna. Let's do orange, an orange color, because I like it. And I'll get my little orange makeup brush. Now this, of course, is the Distress Oxide. And I'm going to put my stencil here. You know, maybe I'll do this in the one of the ones that I have that are, oops, you got to hold on to your stencil. You gotta. Okay, so that's not too bad. And what do I have? Maybe let's get some blue. Let's get some blue and see if I put some more color on this page. I've got to make some changes here, methinks. The way I have everything plugged in, here we go. Mermaid Lagoon. Let's do that. And let me pull out, I'm not going to use that little guy. Let me see if I can do, I don't know if I can do it without making a horrible mess. This is the one I want. Here's the one that I want. Ooh, 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 honey. Ooh, 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 honey. Here's the one that I want. I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. See, that's a little too large. Let's just get something. Well, what I need is a deed. All right. This is going to be a little tricky. Let me get a smaller. That might help if I get a smaller brush. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, it's not helping the screen at all, is it? Not really. Oh gosh, now I'm getting hungry, guys. Well, it looks cute, but it's not helping with the way that my camera is. I wonder if that's too dark, right? So I got to keep that on. Now I'm just doing this hit or miss. I'm not doing it in any particular area. Just trying to jazz up the page a little bit. I'm even going to go a little crooked here. Here we go. So to me, the page is already starting to perk up. It's perking up. All right, so we've done some stamping. Okay, I've got the pot here, but I think I want to put lights out, time to go. I'm going to put just a little stem and just a little flower like this next to my pot. A deconstructed flower pot. Now see, I put this stamp over here, so I'm just digressing a little bit. But see, it's got all these shapes, so now I could really doodle around those, right? So even a stencil. This one is kind of going off the page. And then as you work, you can just determine what you want to add, what you don't want to add, what do you think is good. Yes, we know what you thought, dear Barbara, dear Barbara. Okay, so let's put my little scallop type stampy edge. And then I was thinking, before I came on, I was thinking, I wonder how it would be if I didn't do it. Um, Gosh, it's really getting darker, right? Maybe if I keep my one hand here. Um, Now that just went out of my head. Whoop. Oh, what if I did a white edge around here, like a stamp? What about that? What about that? All right, this one I'm going to do water. I'm going to put water to this. I'm going to darken this whole background, trying to make the flower pop, not pot. I know, right, Shaz? Me too. But I am a little nervous about getting the white, perfect. But we'll try one. We'll try one. I don't, if you laugh at me, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And I was thinking a little word in that little square. Can you see okay? I feel like the camera is really far away, but you let me know. You let me know. All right, so let me get a ruler. Yeah, oh, I'll definitely get a ruler. But see, I'm not good at that either. Just saying, I'm just warning you. Um, because it'll make me crazy to measure. I keep moving my hand. I keep thinking about doing a live and doing some die cuts. And then I just think, oh my gosh, I know I have trouble with the machine every time I go to use it. Now I like that. I like that darker stamp color, the back. And you really can't see this speckled egg, but that's okay. Now I need to decide on a color for the, maybe I should put a Tombow in there. Let's get a Tombow color. I don't know if Tombow has ones that aren't, oh, that changed it, water-based. Barbara said, I think Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore were in that. I'm not a fan of either, but I sat with a niece and watched it. Things we do sometimes, yeah. Oh, Shaz did something the 51st States, the girl loses her. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was Adam Sandler and Drew. Janice. Hello, Janice. Janice says red. Good idea. This is a twin Tombow. Don't think I've ever used these, actually. You know, thought I had to have them. So let's give it a try. That's almost, I'm not going to have a problem there, I don't think. All right, so I want this deeper red back here. I think I can move this color. Because I think these are watercolory. I think these are watercolory. Yeah, I'm stealing some of that from over there. See, I got a little bit of bleeding out here. It's bleeding out. It's bleeding out. All right, let me get my heat tool. Let's give it a little dry. Dry bones, dry bones, dry bones. All right, now while that is drying off a little bit, gosh, maybe if I put this one's smaller. Yeah, that's not really helping either. It really it kind of likes this. It kind of likes this box of stuff, but I can't work with that. All right, I'm going to put my zigzaggies. Medic, Band-Aid. What? Okay, let's put our little, I'm going to go a little larger on this one. Oh, that's a lot larger, Lori. Now down here, I'm going to put little leaves because that's on the in-betweenies. Now I just noticed I had pulled out for the other day my Tim Holtz stitch stamps. I do have a little one. So I'm thinking I want to maybe put a stitch on that. I'm also thinking I want to put trying to think of what word I might want to put in there. I definitely want to put, here's Ange's menu. Ange, what's on the menu, says Shaz. The stem needs help. Okay, Janice. We'll darken it in for one. And then maybe I'll do a little squiggly line like that. Fried chicken, mashed taters, corn, roll, brown gravy, macaroni and cheese. And how can you, oh my gosh, Ange, do you eat like that every night? How does your body tolerate that? Okay, I'm putting little dots in this background where I have the speckled egg. And then, you know what I want to do? I'm going to look on YouTube just so I can see how this is coming across. Just a quick little peek. Yeah. I'm gonna catch up. I'm not caught up there. Let me get my, yeah. Moving my camera down a little. I got a little bit of a lag. I've got a lot of a lag. There we are. That might be a little better. Not really. Okay, so I'm not liking where I have it, where it bled over here a little bit. Barbara said she gained 10 pounds just reading that menu. Now it's gonna be like an earworm, and it's all I'm gonna do is something to eat today. Yes. Yeah, she must have a fast. Okay, so I'm gonna double this line, and by that I mean I've got those lines for that box, and I just added, and then I think I'm gonna add a little squiggle here, and I'm gonna make a little squiggle come down. I'm gonna make some little leaves, and so this is where, some kind of doodling is starting to kick in, where you just are just messing around. You're just messing around. Now, Janice said my stem needed some help, but I don't know if I gave it enough help. I don't know that I had much at any given time. Okay, so I'm gonna take my now I think I want to switch to a black. Let's see. I did have this dark denim out, but I don't know if that's dark enough. I might have to get the ganache. Good grief, hubby will not stop calling me. It's like he's never left home before, says Peggy. Peggy, he is missing your little face. That's what that's all about. He's realizing life without Peggy is boring. Okay. Hubby and I are trying to think of what we could do for a couple days. Go away for a couple days, but I don't know. Let's see what this looks like. That's kind of cool. I think I'm going to put this. Let's get more. All right, so I've got some stitches there. Not the best decision. I'm trying to think of a little word maybe I could put in here. Where's those little? I don't think I have. I don't know if cherish. Cherish is the word. It doesn't have to be on there perfectly, right? It's doodles. Peggy said, I told him I could nag him for a while and remind him what life is really like. If I had to live in Peggy, I wouldn't want to let go either. What did Barbara say? It's not like in the old days when you could always say the phone was off. Low battery thing won't work here either. Sorry. I don't know why every time you call, I'm in the bathroom. But don't come home. I feel fine. Okay, so I put the word cherish in there, and I'm going to ink over that. And it's not going to be perfect. Cherish is the word. So last night we're at the market. And Keisha was showing us I can't go around the circle without when I'm talking. Keisha was showing us right, what was she showing us? Oh, she was showing us Edith Holden pages. Oh, that's why I don't use these. These are brush markers. That's something else I have to practice. But that's good for that leaf. Let's put a little on that stem. And I guess Posh was saying she didn't want a page with the snakes. And I was missing you, Barbara, because I put in chat, I don't like spiders and snakes. And there was only one lady that knew what that song was that was there. I'm going over these stitched lines. Okay, so I think that's enough for that guy. So I'm guessing they were all too young. I mean, but Posh isn't young, I don't think. And so I had to look it up, Conway Twitty, which I'm sure Barbara knew. But that's not what it takes to love you. All right, let's get out the, okay, I got out somewhere. Let's try this. I think this will be a pretty good white mark, a white, this is like a paint. It's not like it is a paint pen. Fab Fibs. Do I need pastel alcohol markers to match my new pastel shade color pencils? Pastel markers. Well, I would get distress crayons if it were my choice. I'm not sure. I know what you mean when you say pastel. See, you say pastel. Are you talking colors? Or are you actually talking like a pastel, like like the material that it's made out of is, like the chalky. I'm a bit confused. There you go. Gail's got the words. The colors. I don't want to enable you more. Was that a race? I don't know. I Googled it. It said, and I looked real quick. Take into consideration it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. So Conway Twitty came up. I didn't look any further than that. But you know what? Ray Stevens sounds more like what I remember on the radio when I was younger. Now that you say that. Okay, so I think I'm just going to take, I don't like to measure. I think this is quite obvious. I'm going to use this here, clear grid. Yeah, don't you think? Yeah, that's what I think too. Good call, Janice. I'm pretty sure you are correct. I'm just going to go around here. That's really large. Yeah, and you're usually right. I think you are correct once again. This is not going to be perfect, but that's okay. Whoop! I got a long line there. Gonna have to deal with it. Gonna have to deal with it. Deal with it. I like the technique I learned from Dee Dee. Lay alcohol marker colors, then detail. Yes, color pencils. Yes, I like to do that as well. So you're not talking like pan pastels. You're talking like a color pencil kind of dealio. All right, so now I'm going to try. You sang along with it, Ange? She heard the song the other day at Shoney's. Should I have at Shoney's? Every time somebody says spiders or snakes, that's what pops into my head. I don't like spider snakes. I got to be thinking about this flower. Okay, I could get out my paint and paint that, but I'm going to try the paint maca. See, this is where I get into trouble. See, I just used my hand. I think I just heard our doorbell. Might have to shake it a little more. Shake, shake, shake. Hi, Brenda. Is it still? No, it's afternoon. Good afternoon, Brenda dear. Come in, come in. We're doodling. There we go. Trying to leave that stitch. Oh, that kind of pops it a little bit, doesn't it? Doesn't it now? And I'm trying not to go over my black. I can re-ink my black lines for sure, but I'm going to try not to hit them so much. I'm going to twirl. Don't get dizzy. Don't get dizzy. Yeah. There's quite a few gals in our viewing pleasure that are quite diverse. Yeah, I got a little bit, and I could probably try. See if I got out my my white paint. Oops. This would be a lot more opaque. And I could have done that. I just didn't. I just didn't do it. Come on, baby. That's I think of the twist when you say come on, baby. Look how bright that is. And then it kind of fiddles, it just kind of piddles out. Now, of course, I've got the white of the stamp, which I haven't addressed. I haven't addressed that area yet. So I'm thinking about a color. I'm going to look at my pencil books. Maybe I'll put a little bird stamp in that square. Barbara's moved on. I'm so dizzy. Oh, I love that song. My head is spinning, and it's you, girl, making it spin. I'm so dizzy. Putting a heart there. I probably should dry that before I try to put any more on. Yeah, it's still a little dampish. Okay, so let's leave that for a moment. And let me see what I might like. All right, so if I'm going to put a little bird there, I just have been liking like the I'm going to do the fossilized amber for the background. Now, there again, when you're doing something like this, you can draw and go, right? You can stamp and go. Add a few. You don't have to get this cray or this involved. This is just, see, this is me. This is how I like to work. Now, I don't always sit down and do all this. Like I showed you, some pages I just had the grids drawn on. And other pages, I had a couple of the blocks maybe filled in, and some of them, they were full on what I would call finished. The point is, you want to do whatever you like. It makes you comfortable that you're going to go back to it and stick with it and enjoy the process. I mean, that's the thing, right? With most of this stuff that we do, enjoy the process. All right, so I'm adding a little bit of this spiced marmalade, which really isn't showing up too well. Now I'm going to switch over crackling campfire, darkening those corners right there, a little bit in the center there. And we went from England to a New York. Yes, Shadow says, my mom and dad were the best dancers, but jiving, they could jive? Oh, wow. That's amazing. I'm too self-conscious of my body to dance. I never really got into dancing so much. Okay, so I'm putting the water to these water pencils because I want to blend. I'm starting with the yellow, the fossiled amber, and then I'm going to start blending in the darker color. I don't know if that's right or wrong. It's just the way I'm doing it. Now I'm going to stamp the little bird in there. So I want to put some color in that square. I have 3 of these tins. What did I do with the other tin? I don't want anything too dark. Well, that's silly. I had 3 tins when I had 3 tins. Oh, here it is. I put it over on top of my antique linen. This is probably a bad choice. Let's try. I put it over on top of my tombos. I just don't want it white. Light blue is a good idea, but I think, you know what? I'm going to put the light blue in the circle that we put on there. And I'm definitely going to need more white there for my liking. I really want that to pop. Light blue. Let's try this one. Or light green. This is tumbled glass. Oh, I think this will work nicely, Thomas. This is more on like a robin's egg kind of blue. And the crickets. Yes, I'm very 50s influenced. My mom and dad, Elvis. I mean, I'm sure if I heard a Buddy Holly song, I would remember it, but it doesn't come quickly to my mind. But see, things like that really don't. I was a big Frankie Valli. I went to several of their concerts, and I loved the Monkees. I mean, I like the Beatles, okay, but the Monkees were the ones that I was crazy for the Monkees. I mean, crazy for the Monkees. But I don't know what you see, I don't even know what year that was. That'll be the day when I cry, when I die. Do, do, do. Okay, so let's let that dry a little bit. Let's come back with I should pull out one of those pens that I bought that Janet Young enabled me to purchase, but I don't know if I do. I think I have them out at my front, out by my comfy chair. See, I bought these too. These are this is a souffle gel pen. Does anybody have those? Okay, Cat's going out to the clothesline. All right, baby. Oh, Lori, my husband is a huge fan of the Monkees. Really? Oh, I love the Monkees. Oh, hello, please. No, that was Mary Lou. Hello, Mary Lou. Go bed heart, sweet Mary Lou. Hmm. I mean, there are some songs I will turn off if they come on the radio, but there are a lot of songs. Okay, Barbara. Um, I wouldn't. Now, I'm trying to mimic the white edge of, around the stamps that we normally use. So my little scalloped edges are going to be on the white part, around the white part. All right, let me find those little birds. Twiddly diddly dee, twiddly diddly dee, twiddly diddly dee, twiddly diddly dee. I like this stamp better, but I like the size of this guy, so I'm going to go with this one. Rocking the treetop all day long. I don't like that song, Wait in the Truck. I don't think I know that song yet, if I'm absolutely, totally honest. Popping in a singing a song. All the little birdies on Shepherd Street. Oh, mine keeps leaking. I'm gonna have to put that in a plastic bag. My tomato paste keeps leaking in my drawer. All right, let's get the ganache. Sophia? Hello? Making a live for once. How are you doing? Oh, we should do a live like that, where you sing everything you say. Doing all right. Got normal struggles in life. Trying to deal with, what's going on in life. And then I get to come to my happy place and forget about it for a couple hours, which is so well. Oh my gosh, this little guy stamps really nice. Look, I got to back this out, get my book flat. Oh my goodness, he is adorbs. He's adorbs. Oh, he didn't stamp that great once I didn't push it right. Oh, he's lovely. He's lovely, he is. Where did I put his? I'm losing my mind. Losing my mind. It's up on the keyboard. Well, maybe I'll, boy, wouldn't that look cute? Let's put that on there. All right, let's get this little guy back on here. And then while we have these out, you know, what I should do is use this side as my tester page, and then I could either leave it that way or I could, you know, paint over it with black. Let's do this. Let's get this guy in here. He's lovely. I've got paint on the tail. And then let's get that long branch. I must have had these got dropped in dipped in paint or something. It's just one little tiny spot. Sophia said, "Oh, my internet keeps dropping out. It might be we'll get storms early. I hope so. Crazy hot weather. Yeah, we've had it warm too. Very un-September like. We got some rain the other day, and then we got a little bit today, which is nice. We really could use a couple days of rain. All right, I'm going to ink this up this way. I'm not going to pre-stamp. I'm probably going to be sorry, but I'm just going to do it. Ooh, that turned out good. Okay. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Let's put it back here with the little birdies. Come on. I've got that stamp. See, these are just so cute. Okay, what's my time like? 12:30. It's Sunday, so we've got Tanya coming on, I think, around 2. And my ball game's coming on around 1. Just saying. Peggy's been doing the rain dance while hubby is away. I don't want to water. Boy, I hear you there. Okay, I think what I'd like to do is do something like this little stamp here. Maybe coming out here. This makes me nervous. I'm just doing it. So that looks okay. Now I'm going to put my little ridges around my, clearly my white area could be much smaller. That's okay. This is going to come down and have something dangling on it. Maybe we'll do a little heart at the end. That was a little faux pas that I did when I drew the line for the white part around the stamp. Made it too long. Now, if I was sitting here by myself, I would take more time, but doing that little, and then I like to do this little wiggly thing here sometimes. So I'm just going to put this around, just going all different crazy ways around. I just like it. So I think the more you doodle, you'll get different strokes, I guess, that you like better than others, and you'll tend to use them more. Okay, Gail, have a great afternoon. Thanks for coming, Gail. And if I don't see you, have a good next week. We had a heat wave in June, says Sophia. Rain all July, chilly August, and we're back to the heat wave. And when you say heat wave, I say we're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. The temperature's rising. It isn't surprising. We're having a heat wave. Where did that other little grid go? Here we go. Let's find something teeny tiny. That's one thing about these little tiny stamps. You can put it on and see how you like it before you stamp it. You know what I'm saying? I think I want to put that, see, now once I get going and I get into, see, I could do this for hours, just fussing and fooling and putting a little leaf down there. I'm going to lose track of all these little fellers. I just had in my mind, oh yeah, yeah, this. Oh yeah, yeah, this. Oh yeah, yeah, this. That's not going to stickums. That's not going to stickums. Let me clean that off a little bit. Maybe I can get it to. It's a little too wet. I wonder how this, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I wonder how, see, I've got some, looks like copper on there from another time that I'd stamped. All right, hold on, Ange. Hold that thought. I'll be back to look in a minute. Ange says, I have some good news. My mom signed up for this program for only people for heating and air. They're coming. Oh, honey, that's wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to put this copper. He was a good copper. And let's do that. I should have done this before I inked it up. You're a fool, woman, you're a fool. I don't really want it to go in that circle either. Oops. You can't ink it with the lid. Roll. I dropped the dang thing. Oh my lord. Hey, Pam. I'm just going to try to, some of that's going to get on there. But it's okay. Nice. Lovely. Lovely. I like it. I like it. I like it. They are also going to rewire the house and put kitchen windows in. We live in a 1941 house that my grandfather helped build. Oh, and that's very exciting. Very exciting. Who doesn't like a little home renovation, huh? Okay. So I could use a green Tombow. Now, if you haven't done this kind of journaling or doodling before and you're going to try it, leave me a message. Let me know. I'd just love to know what you're up to and if you're going to try something. That's just, for those of us who live stream or do videos. Bye, Barbara. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your food. It's just exciting for us. No, maybe not exciting might not be the right word. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm putting some specks in here. Sometimes I stream because I enjoy it, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. But sometimes it can feel like a chore, and sometimes you just don't feel like, you're doing anything meaningful to help someone else in their, you know, art journey. You're going to try the owls? Oh, wonderful. That's exciting to know. I have them right here. I still haven't done, I did some more on the branch. I did some more on the branch. So now I've got to do some shading, add some leaves I want, and then I've got to ink the trees. Did that, and I think I'll do a little bit more here, and I have to decide. I might put a piece of fabric here for my flag. And then I still didn't color in, his little feathers. But I think once I get those things done, then I'll be ready to say it's done. So I'm making progress there. All right, so then we've got this little bird who's really not been stamped very darkly. So, and then like we did even with the owls, this is going to be hard because I have it in my hand. Um, you just maybe want to come in and re-ink some of this stuff. Put some extra lines around. And you don't need to stamp. You can do this free-handed. Just up to you where your comfort level is. Like I said, I'm really not a doodler, so this is all gonna add a stamp. Oh, here it goes this way. Hello. Hello. It bent down this way. I covered it with my little lattice. Of course, this time of day, yeah, I say lattice, and I'm thinking lettuce. Well, thank you, Peggy. It's hard for me to tell on my screen with that crazy. Um, so then we can also do this kind of thing. I know Rach 0013, she did that a lot, where she just scratched out a line like around her squares, which just, I don't know, it just gives it another little dimension. This needs to have some ink around it. Deepen this. And you can come in if you have a heavier type pen. Janice says, okay, she's got to go. All right. Thanks, Janice. Have a great day. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. And, I can redoodle this. Instead of using ganache, I should have used black, but I didn't. So I'm just going to come around this little bird a little bit. Give him a black beak. All right. Now, what else was I going to try that maybe I said I was going to do and then I didn't do it? I tried, but I didn't do it. It's not coming to me right now. I didn't stamp very many words, did I? Did I? Did I? But you could stamp in here. And then once you get going, you could always look back in your book, right? And get some idea. Love those swirls. See, I love those swirls. Let's do some swirls. Some squirrel. See, these are brush ones. I wonder if I can hold it up enough to do. Oh, it's not too loosey-goosey. Okay, because sometimes these brush tips are real soft. So let's add some swirls. Because sometimes you have a good idea that you've used before, but you don't remember. You could do little squares. As you can see, my doodling is really very simple, like a child's. I just don't I feel like I'm good at some things, like really good at some things, and some things I'm just not, and that's okay. And then when you make a little heart like this, maybe you did red hearts, and they don't have to be red, but you can always also put a little stem coming out of these guys. Makes them look like a little apple, right? And then use your white. Tamara Laporte, she uses a lot of white to make hearts, and she puts butterfly wings on everything. Like, I don't know if you can see there. See, that's because I watched Tamara Laporte. They're supposed to be butterfly wings. So you can add, whatever. You can add a couple of petals of a flower, or like these little dangly stars. You can make little wonky stars. And she says, I have a question. If you have paint and there is some in it, but it's not coming out, what do you do? Well, if it's acrylic paint, um, and it's water-based, right? Shaz is asking, is it water-based? Acrylic and Brenda's asking the same thing, right? You can add water, but want to make sure, like depending on what you want to use it for, you want to control how much water is in there. If it's real hard inch and it's like cracked, throw it out. If it's thick, almost like, like kind of boogery or sticky or, like that, you can add water to it and right, for a washed out color, right? Because when you add the water, exactly, that's what I was starting to get to, Brenda. You're exactly right. If it's in a tube, yeah, you're kind of sunk. If it's in a bottle, it's easy to add some water to it. Give it a shake. Get a long skewer or maybe the end of a pencil, get down in there and stir it really good. You'll be able to salvage it and using it like in a background like this, like a wash, if you're doing a coloring book or whatever. Um, you should be able to do it that way. Ooh, Kathy's back hubbying, and it's time for me to have a nap. I'm thinking. Yeah, I could add little bugs on the page we're working on. Oh, shoot, I didn't mark there it is. See, I want to color this like a pot color in some of these other backgrounds. Can anybody remember what I said? You're painting a can. Yeah, see, I don't know. And painting acrylic on a can is one thing. I think you need to have, um, good paint that's not watered down. Just depends on what look you're going for, though, too. You could try it on the bottom, see how it works for you, you know. Um, Maybe we'll just put a quick little word here. I love this little stamp I have. It says friends. Let's see. So I think this is going to be it for me today. I'm kind of at the point where I need to go get some lunch. Give you guys some time. And you could Google Ange painting on, well, I'm assuming you're painting on tin or something. What did you say it was, Angie? Can? Friends. Okay, so that looks cute, that little bird. And then let's see. This is a cute little stamp. Yeah, see, Brenda's asking you good questions. Yeah. I've gotten away from that, but I'm thinking years ago, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's a cute stamp. Look at that. Years ago, I'm thinking I sealed it with something, but I'm talking like a watering can, to clean off the rust. So now this is really color heavy and right now kind of doodle heavy, but that's, I like it. So I'll just keep adding to it, and then I'll probably add some more stuff in the background. And if you have any of these distress crayons, let's see, what do I want to put in there? See, I've got that. Oh my gosh, I watched these Midsummer Murders, and I just love them. And I just switched over to where the new guy. Okay, so here is vintage photo. I'm going to put vintage photo around my edge here in this stamp. Where's my paintbrush? There it is. Thanks, Chaz. Oh my gosh, I so love. But then I hum that song all day long. It's very spooky. I usually watch it at night. Well, that's not too bad. I think my phone just buzzed. So see, that's just simple. All right, you've got a stencil. You stenciled it on. Inked around the shapes of your stencil, and then I just put the distress crayon around the edge. You know, a lot of us have so much in our stash. We just, just need to use it. I'm going to put some Wink Stella on my tulip, which gives it, now this is the clear, so it gives it a really beautiful glittery color if you're not familiar with the Wink Stella. All right. Gosh, guys, thanks for being here with me. I appreciate it so very much. Please enjoy the rest of your day and whatever you're doing, whether you're cooking or visiting with family, reading a book, arting, watching some YouTube. Enjoy yourself. It's Sunday. Try to take it easy, okay? Thank you, Brenda. You're very sweet. Thanks so much. So, hey, listen, if you've got any questions, let me know. For replayers, if you haven't subscribed, please do. I think I'm less than 50 away from hitting the 2,000 mark. So I'm a little excited about that. So if you could subscribe, like, share, that would be fabulous. I could get to my 2,000, and then I'm going to have not too many, but just a couple of giveaways, and I'll talk about that more once I hit the 2,000 mark. So, mods, thank you so very much for being here, taking time out of your day. I appreciate it. Don't forget, my dear friends, take time to be creative and enjoy the journey, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.